Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Linda from Gunut Lane Wearable Art. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, welcome, a big welcome to you. And if you like this video, please consider clicking the like button down below and also consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. And also too, you'll get notifications. If you ring the bell, you'll get notifications when I post new videos. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. All you have to do is just click the button and you'll get a notification every time a video is posted. Today I thought we'd make another pendant. I made this one the other day. I was just playing around and I thought I had these elephants and they've been sitting there for ages. So I thought I'd decorate them, and what it reminded me of when I'd done it was one of those Indian elephants that you see in Indian movies, and that when they're all dressed up for special occasions or whatever. Yeah, so I thought it would look lovely with either a gold chain, a piece of leather, even a sari ribbon threaded through it would look beautiful. Just make sure you make your bail big enough at the top to fit whatever you're going to be putting onto it. I also made a pair of earrings to match. I had little elephants sitting around. So let's get those straight there. Yeah, so that's the earrings to match. There, they look a lot nicer when they're hanging up, but it's very hard to show that on a video. Anyway, I thought we'd do the pendant. So rather than use the wooden bead that I've used in the middle here, I've used a large crystal there. I'd say that'd be about a 10mm crystal in the middle of it. And I've just strung it on some wire, loop at the bottom and the bail at the top. Just something a little bit different. So we'll get started with that. I've got my beads lined up here. I've got some 8/0s, and these are all 11/0s, and then a couple of 11 delicas, size 11 delicas. Also a needle and thread. I've got a size 12 needle. It's got a stop bead, if I can find it. Stop bead on the end with just a tail roughly about that long, just long enough to tie a square knot at the end. You're going to need a pair of snippers, a pair of chain nose pliers just to help your needle through if you need that. I always have a beading awl on hand just in case you need it. Size 8 in the smoke in the fire line. All right, let's get started. So we've got our pendant here. Now we're just going to, I've decided I'd do it in the purples and throw in a bit of teal and silver on this one. So I'm just deciding which colour I'd like to come up the front first. Turn him over. I will start with this silver. So I'm just going to thread on some silver beads. These are the 11 delicas. You could use 11 round seed beads if you like. Just up to you, whatever you want to use, doesn't matter. Just bring those down to your stop bead. Just hold it there and measure. We need a few more. Okay, that looks roughly about right to me. Yep, and from here we're just going to wrap around the bottom of that crystal there. Just holding it in place. And then from here decide what colour you'd like to come up the side, whether you want to continue with the silver what you want to do. I think I might go the teal coloured. So I'm just going to pick up some of those. It's not an exact amount, so I can't give you amounts. You have to just figure that one out for yourself. It's just making sure that, you know, you're seeing as least thread as possible and that it's reaching to where you want it to go. So I need a few more of those. We are having an absolutely gorgeous spring day here today. It's just absolutely beautiful outside. Sun's shining, the birds are singing. There's absolutely no wind at all, not even a breeze. It's beautiful. Okay. And this one I'm going to wrap around that side. And now you can again continue on with the same colour or change it up if you want to. I think I'll change it up. I think I'll do the purple, this one here. I think it's just called opaque purple. Yep, it's a Miyuki opaque purple. Just going to adjust my camera. I think I was off camera a little bit there. There we go. Hopefully that's better. All right, a few more. That one doesn't have a hole through the centre of it. Now don't worry if they're going to slide around everywhere to start with until we anchor it down, so don't worry about that. Just yeah, concentrating on getting the beads on and with the least amount of thread showing. Can be a little bit fiddly, but you'll get there with it. Okay, I want that to come very hard with a round edge bead, but anyway, we'll get there. And that's the beauty of freeform. What you might see a picture in your head to start with, most of the time it does not turn out anything like it, or very seldom does it ever turn out. Okay, I'm just going to take a couple of beads off there. It's also the fun part of it because you're just designing as you're going, and seldom have I ever had a piece turn out and then I just thought, oh my god, no, that's so horrible. I would never wear that, or I would never give it to anybody, or I would never sell it. As I said, this is a fiddly bit. Once you get this done, it's all easy after that. Okay, I think I've got a couple too many beads on there still. So I'm going to take off another 3. Excuse me. this back where it's supposed to be. This is much easier to do when you don't have a camera stuck in your face. Okay, I'm just going to get this anchored down and then I can fiddle with it once that's done. Okay, I'm just going to come through this bead here. Okay. That's close enough there. So now I'm just going to pick up another colour, or I can continue on with this colour if I like, doesn't matter. I want to come down the back so I can secure this down here. So I'm just going to lay that down for a sec, and I'm just going to pick up some of these darker purple beads here. Just deciding whether I want to wrap it around here or just go straight down the back. I think I'll just go straight down the back. A few more. As I said, this can be a little bit fiddly. That's probably pretty perfect there. So we're just going to come through that first silver delica after the stop bead. Okay. I'm not going to tie the square knot yet. I'm just deciding here what I want to do. Okay, I'm just going to peyote back up this line of silver delicas. Okay, you can see that starting to peyote there. So I'm not going to make you watch me do it all the way up. I'm coming up to the end of this silver one here, so I'll meet you back when I get there. All right, I'll see you I'll see you soon. Okay, welcome back. Okay, I'm up to the top there at the silver one, and I think I'll come around this side of the crystal. So I'm going to add some of this pinky colour here in. So I'm just picking up some of those. And of course I get them tangled. I don't know how I've done that. I'll be back in a sec. I'll get this tangle out. Okay, I'm back. So I've added enough of the pink beads to come around the back here, and I've just gone through one of the beads here of the purple ones on the back. Okay, so now I'm going just to follow that line of beads up. I'm not going to peyote or anything like that, just follow that line of beads up. Okay, now I want to reinforce around this bail here. So just follow the line of beads around. Okay, now I'm just deciding where I want to go. Yep, I'm going to come down the front here and peyote there. So just seeing where my thread's coming out. Okay, through that bead there. Okay, and picking up some more of the purple. We're just going to peyote down that front part. Now, if you don't have an elephant or just whatever, like in your stash, you've probably got something that you've been looking at wondering, gosh, what can I do with that? You could use that in place of the elephant, just decorate it up the same way we're doing here. Okay, so I've got that peyote in. Now, where do I want to go? Actually, I've got some beads here that I'm going to use for decoration. I'm just deciding here if I want to add a crystal or something in there. That could look nice. Or I've got one of the teal green. If I get it out. Oop. Get it out and drop it. Ah, goodness. I've got them everywhere now. Okay, I could do that. I've got some daisy spacers here as well. I could pop a daisy spacer and a crystal in that if I wanted to. I think just the crystal. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop the crystal in there. Move these out of the way. These are just 3mm little Czech fire polish crystals. Okay, just seeing which bead that's going to come out of the best. This one here. Yeah, that's sitting in there nicely. Okay, now I'm just going to peyote down the front with these teal beads, which are very tiny. Goodness. I don't think these ones are 11 O's. They can't be, they're too little. Well, they're 15 O's. That's why they're so little. I thought they were 11s. I try not to use 15 O's when I'm on camera because I just can't see without my magnifying light. But we'll do it. We'll get there. Okay, one more. So I'm coming out of that first silver delica there. Okay, now I'm just going to take a look at it. Seeing what else I want to do here. Okay, I'm going to add something in here. What do I want to put there? I might do one of the little teal crystals. One of those. That wants to sit on that side, that's okay. So I'm just going to add some more of these pink beads and go around the other side. This is another thing with freeform. The piece talks to you. It tells you what it wants you to do. So it's following that little hint from your piece is usually recommended because it knows what it wants to be. I keep getting caught up on my mat here. Just adjust that a little bit more. Okay, so here I'm just going to go under that row of purple beads. And through the pink one on the other side, or couple if you can get through a couple. Back through the rest of them. Excuse me. Need something there. What do I want to put there? Just going to try. Yeah, I think that looks nice. So I'm just going to pop a daisy spacer on there. And what else will I put in it? got a little 2mm pearl here, little freshwater pearl. Let's see what that looks like. That'll be alright. So back down through your daisy spacer. Excuse me. Come up through a delica there. I think that's really nice. Now I'm going to go back through this crystal. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just designing as I'm going, so it's I'm a bit quiet because of that. Going back through this line of beads, these pink ones. Okay, there's a bit of a gap there, but we can see the gap going down here between those ones. We can fill that in later. I'm not worried about that right at this very moment. So don't stress if you see things like that and start pulling your work apart. It's every piece goes through an ugly duckling stage, an awkward stage, and turns out beautiful in the end. So, okay, I want to come up across here and come back through that check polish, wire polish there. Just deciding what colour I want to use here. I might try some of the 8Os and see. They might be a little bit big, but we'll have a look. One or two more and that should do it. And we just have to get through that check bead. Just pulling nice and tight on that thread at the moment to see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick up a purple one of the 11 O's, come up through that sticking out one there that we peyote through before. Pulling nice and tight, peyoting again. One more. Come up through this one. Alright, everything's sitting a lot firmer now. It's starting to look very majestic, this elephant. I want to come down here and do some more around here, so seeing where my thread's coming out there. Okay, I'm going to go down through this line of purple beads again. I also want to get this thread tied off down the bottom. Now everything is secure and feels right. It's a bit of a gap there, so I'm just going to pop one bead in. Follow that line down. Pulling tight. Oops, sorry, I was off camera. I didn't do anything overly interesting there, so you didn't miss anything. Okay, we can take the stop bead off now. Tie our square knot. Goodness, this is so hard to do on camera. Camera's sitting right in my face. Okay, it's nice and tight. Snip that off. I'll burn that off later. Okay. I'm just going to peyote again through these silver beads with the delicus. all nice and tight now. Just going to pass through a couple of these here. Without adding a bead, that is. I think I want to come across this way. So I'm just going to come up that bead there. Just getting my line here. Okay. I'm going to come up through the next one, and that one sticking out here. See there. A little bit hard because it's a round edge and it wants to slide back in. Oh, I don't want to cover his face up. Okay, I'm going to put a line of the little 15-ohs in the teal. Excuse me. Yeah, that's looking nice. So if you're new here, I never have a planned design. I always design as I'm going. That's basically what freeform is all about. So there's no counting beads and sticking to a set pattern. It's all about how a piece looks, what you feel it looks like, what what you like. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, I'm just going to come through that bead there. All my regular watchers know how I do this, how I design as I'm working. Yeah, that'd look nice peyote as well, so I'll come back and peyote up that line, which will make it a little bit wider. Yeah, the top of it's nearly finished, I think. Okay, that's all pretty tight. I might just go down through that. Just going to come through this pink bead, the one in front of the purple 8/0s. So this is, the way I do this is basically to give you an idea of what you can do. And you just grab yourself some beads and you start playing. And as I said, every piece goes through an ugly duckling stage, so don't get all frustrated and think you can't do it. Just keep going. You'll okay, back through these ones and through the crystal. I don't think I've ever had a piece that started off beautiful to start with. That's what I'm trying to say. You just keep working with it. Even if you get up and walk away from it, don't get frustrated with it. Just walk away, come back. You'll see it all in a new light. So I've just added in another delica there. Just going to come back down this line. The same as the piece will tell you when it's enough. You can just like look at it and just go, I know that's enough, so stop if you think it's enough. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm just going to cross over. See where my thread's coming out there. There. Come back up through the bead next to it on the opposite side. I've come through two there, which is good. I want to get up to the to the teal beads. Excuse me, I just had to take a sip of water. Okay, let me through. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just peyote back up along this line. I'll come back down the back row here, and I'll meet you here at the bottom when you get to the bottom. Okay, see you soon. Okay, welcome back. So I've gone through the row of teal delicas here, 15 O's, and I've come down and just stopped a little bit short of going the whole way, and I've added on this little triangle AB teal coloured bead here, and then a few of the pink 11 O's, a silver delica, and a green teal green bead, and then I've added one of these I can't think what that's called now, agate bead. That's purple agate faceted, with another one of the pink 11 O's at the bottom. So I'm just going to come back up this line. I just thought this looked nice here, a little drop hanging there, so I'm just going to come back up through the triangle bead or diamond shaped bead. Excuse me. line that up. I'm just letting that dangle there. Now I'm going to just, what am I going to do here? I'm just going to follow down this line of till 15s here. If I can get in there. Such tiny beads, goodness. There we go. Ooh, get all of them. And through that first or second, there we go, doesn't matter. Just come out. We're heading back down this way, so just go through as many as you can get through. Okay, and I forgot to say in the beginning, I'm going to hang the other dangles off the bottom using Nymo. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. So I'm just going to finish off this fire line. Just going to weave back up through a few beads. I'm having terrible trouble here today staying on camera. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you've got all the important parts. Okay, that should do it. Just cutting that thread off. And I'll just grab my Nymo. Didn't have that on, so I've just got some black Nymo here that I'm using. It's a size D. You just don't need too much, probably about 18 inches, I guess. And I just give it a run through my fingers like that, just to stretch it out, get rid of some of the kinks out of it. Just do that a few times. Okay. Unthread this needle. Should have been thinking ahead of time and got this set up. Okay, just threading that needle there. I'm going to burn that thread off. Oh, my stomach's starting to go again. It is lunchtime here. It's 1:45. Okay, just deciding where I want to start this. Okay, well, I'll get this started off. Just pick a place and wind through. Tie a half hitch knot if you like. And bring it back down here to where we're going to start adding some dangles there. This one's all right on the fire line there. It's a little bit stiffer, but it's all right. But these ones you really want to hang so that they hang like these ones do, nice and loose. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Welcome back. So I've tied in my new thread, and I've come down and I've come through this metal loop here. I've added a couple of the seed beads, just and a crystal there. Just choose a pattern that you think looks nice, and with the agate bead on the end. So I'm going to come back up through the agate bead and all of these beads on this row, making sure you go through them all. Coming at the top there. Oops. Just pulling that up nice and tight. I'm going to go back through the ring, on the end there, the loop, whatever you want to call it. Oh, when I made the loops as well, I did wrap loops, not what are they called? Simple loops. I did wrapped to make sure it's all nice and tight. Nothing was going to fall off. Okay, so now I just choose. I've got some beads here I'm going to add on. Just deciding. I think I'll go with the pink for this last one. Now you can add as many of these drops on here as you like. Totally up to you. I just choose what I think looks nice. Okay, bringing those up. Now I want this one to be longer than this one, so I want them to come like tiered down. So I think I'll add in a silver Delica, then this one, the 3mm check fire polish. Okay. And another silver. Then I'm going to add, no, I'm going to add this, no, I'm going to add this cream, changing my mind up. These are just little glass, one side's AB and the other side's not, it's just normal glass. Then I'll add in 2 more of the pink and the agate. That should bring it to about the length I want. If I can find the hole there. There we go. That's about how I want it. Yep, and then one more of the pink at the bottom. Coming back up through all of those. Okay, now I want that to sit a little bit more next to it than flopping over in front of it. So I'm going to come back up through the loop, the metal loop. Whoops, I missed it. Still missed it. Pulling that up. Just going to see if that sits the way I want it to sit. That's not too bad. Now I don't like the way that silver loop's showing there, so I'm going to add a couple of the 8 O's in the purple. If you don't mind the silver loop showing, just leave it, but I don't like it. So that should sit nice there. Just making sure everything hangs the way I want it to hang. Still, yes, it does. So I'm going to pick up one of the silver delicas, pass back up through that delica there. I can get through it. I might have passed through it too many times. Just let me see here. Go up through this one on the outside. Oh, I pulled it up too high. Okay, I might have to add 3 of the purple beads. The 8 O's. Oops, what did I do then? I looped it. Goodness, come on. Oh, that's sitting all right. That's covering it up. No, I still want 3 on them. Okay, so just take that last delica off. One more of the purple, pick up the delica again. So it's all just trial and error, I guess is what you call it. Just seeing what you think looks nice. And that should do it. Worst part with these dangling things is getting your thread caught all the time. Yeah, I think that covers it nicely now. Also brings a bit more of that purpling down the bottom. Alright, now it's just a matter of finishing off. I think that's enough on that one. I like the way that looks. Just finish it off. Weaving the thread through, your needle through, to get the thread to come through. We just want to, oops, not get caught up on things. So I'll just take this up and around the back. Make sure everything at the back's nice and tight before we finish off. Do the crystal. through this line of beads going around the neck of the large purple crystal. You don't want too much on the back, you want that to sit pretty flat because it's going to be sitting next to your chest, so you don't want a whole lot of bulk there. I was just testing then to see if it was nice and firm. Okay, I'm just going to come up through this row of purple beads here because I know I only went through those once, I think. Keep your eye out for that it catches on something, because you can't always feel it, and you'll be left with a loop like that hanging over your bead if you don't catch it straight away. Okay, pulling nice and tight, that feels nice and firm now. Now you can finish off any way you like. I'm going to finish off down the back because it's less noticeable. Okay, just coming through a couple of beads there. Making sure I didn't get caught. No, I didn't. And I'm just going to do a half hitch knot. Pulling nice and tight, and then just go down a few more beads and you can end your thread then. Just moving away from that knot. Okay, that'll do it. So we can snip off, grab a lighter, burn off that thread. So it goes down into a nice little, any other threads that you've got. Okay, that's it. All right, well that's our decorated Indian style, well, my version of an Indian style decorated elephant. What do you think? You like it? I do. I think it's something different. Put a piece of leather or something through that. As I said, sari ribbon, whatever. Okay, I just wanted to I wanted to tell you something else. What was it? Size. Oh, bead sizes. Okay, this is the one that we're using here at the top. This is I think it's about 13mm. It's a howlite. These little guys, they're only tiny. They're 15mm across by 1 centimetre in length. And then we've got the bigger elephant here. And he is 3 centimeters across and just over 2 centimeters in length. That's just if you wanted to know that. So if you want to make the earrings, it's basically just doing exactly the same thing, just using your little elephant. I didn't use a bead in between on these ones, it would have made it too big, so it's just the howlite bead. So just on top like that, do your wire work through to have your loop, your bail and your loop at the bottom, and just decorate it the same. I'm working on a ring at the moment to go with this one, which I'll show you in the next video. Well, that's it, everybody. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. You have no idea how much it helps me out, and helps me to bring more videos to you. And subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. That also helps me out greatly. And also make sure you ring that bell, because you won't get a notification if you don't ring the bell as to when I put out the next video. I think that's all I had to say. Everybody have a lovely week, and I'll see you all next week. Okay, see you later. Bye.